tuned. The show is about to begin.
Woo, 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 woo. Hello, Heather. Hello, Taryn. Good afternoon. It is Moon Day, August 21st, 2023. Welcome, welcome. Um, how was your weekend? We're going to talk about a lot of things. And this week we have a major shift. We're going into Virgo season. Mercury is going retrograde. Mercury is joining the cluster beep that has been the month of August, right? And we're going to get into all of it. So, welcome. Drive safe if you're driving. Get comfortable. Grab a drink if you can, and at the end of the episode, as per usual, we will have a meditation that hopefully will assist you in unwinding, making sense of things, get a little bit comfortable, take a deep breath. So, yay, Taryn! Um, I'm enjoying a cup of tea, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. If you're listening on Spotify, then thank you so much. I would love for you to join the live conversation happening on Fireside. And if you're watching on YouTube, also, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for watching. So, in Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace, I like to discuss where the moon is every day. The astrology of it all is very important, but I don't produce content as an astrologer. So, I'm not going to say that I am one. I watch astrology very carefully when it comes to myself, my family, and possibly my clients, just because it always it adds a layer of insight to life in general. But when it comes to the show or this conversation in itself, I like to focus on the moon because, as a highly sensitive empath, as a very emotional, passionate person, I want to focus on the emotional aspect of our experience because you can be okay, but do you really feel okay? You can enjoy someone's company, but do you really feel like you enjoy their company? I feel like the intellect is always going to be on the other side of the emotional side of life. And I will always want to focus on the emotions, right? And so that's what the moon is all about. And the moon is also, each planet, the sun takes a month to go from each one of the zodiac signs, right? So there's 12 months in the year, and each planet takes its own time to transition around the sun. And so everything has a particular time frame. We take 365 days to go around the Earth, and as you know, the moon only takes 24 hours to go around the moon takes only 24 hours to go around the Earth, but the moon is also making its way through the zodiac the same way that the sun is making its way through the zodiac calendar throughout the year. And we have Leo season, Pisces season, now we're going to go into Virgo season, so on and so forth. And so all 12 signs, that's what makes the lunar cycle. The moon takes about 2 to 3 days to go from one sign to the next. And every time it transitions into a new zodiac sign, it plays differently into our emotions. And then when you add the huge umbrella of what's happening out there in the universe with Mercury going retrograde, or with Neptune entering the conversation, or with Saturn in Pisces, or Mercury in Virgo, so on and so forth, you keep adding layers of context, insight, expectancy, and probability, possibility, etc. And it's very complicated, but focusing on the moon makes it all, I feel like, a little bit easier to understand or just maneuver because in the end, I think it's probably my moon in Cancer that is very nurturing, and then my certified coach, the certified coach in me, wanting you to be okay, and wanting you to be essentially emotionally prepared, comfortable, equipped, and just happy in general, despite whatever transpires, right? Despite the trauma, despite whatever ensues. And so, yay, here we are. Let's talk about it. I'm so excited. We're starting the week with the moon in Libra, and I it was in Libra all weekend. By tonight, or even honestly, I haven't checked the time. It's 3:30 p.m. right now, but at some point today, it will be in Scorpio, and we've talked about that. The fact that Mercury enters its retrograde this Wednesday with the moon in Scorpio might be a bit dramatic. We're going to talk about it. But right now, it's transitioning from Libra to Scorpio. And all weekend long was very interesting with the moon in Libra. I had a house full of people coming in and out with the stepkids joining us all together. And I really felt that balance between how do I accommodate specific needs with the needs of the whole, right? That's very Libra. Or if there's only one of me, how can I please everybody? I can't. That's just impossible, right? So who takes precedence, or what takes precedence? Those conversations are so Libra encoded, and I'm actually grateful that the moon was in Libra, because I don't know, when the energy just aligns in a sense, it makes for an easier experience. It makes for a more comfortable experience, as opposed to opposing energies, or malefic energies, or contradictory energies. I hope that makes sense. And so, moving into Scorpio, Scorpio is, it likes to go deep. There is no short conversations with Scorpio. There is no talk of the weather. There is no small talk, right? I said that. But the moon in Scorpio, I feel like, stirs up a lot. And when you add to it the context of Mercury going retrograde, so let's talk about Mercury going retrograde. I've talked about it before, but it's okay, because that's the beauty of all of these cycles, is that they repeat themselves. But if you think about it, the conversation is always different, regardless, because we're growing, we're becoming more aware, and every time we hit the same rock, or we fall over the same rock, we really don't acknowledge it the same, and we hopefully don't come from it the same either, right? So every single time it's different. And Mercury goes retrograde 3 to 4 times a year. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be stressed about. It's nothing to try to avoid or be in denial about. It's really an opportunity to go deep, much like the Venus retrograde that we are now start to transitioning out of, because Venus ends its retrograde on September 3rd. Mercury governs your thoughts, your ideas, your ideals. Mercury governs your inner communication, communication in general. So, texting, emailing, phone calls, I don't know, signals, whatever, however you're communicating, divination, flights, travel, internet, uh, information slash misinformation. So all of that is all governed by Mercury. Mercury also governs Virgo. So I'm hopeful about the fact that Mercury is going to be retrograde, but it's going to be in its home sign of Virgo, right? But here's the thing. And Jamie just joined us right on time. Welcome, Jamie. Hi. So, um, with Mercury being the planet that essentially governs everything that's in your head, just as a reminder, when a planet goes retrograde, it means that whatever it governs and whatever it stands for kind of goes a bit array, a bit backwards, a bit just in shambles, much like the tower that falls, right? Does it create chaos? Arguably, yes, but do we have to be afraid of it? Absolutely not. Again, when we get triggered in the next few weeks with Mercury being retrograde, and as you know, we're going to continue this conversation for as long as Mercury is retrograde, starting this Wednesday. So, when we get triggered in the next few weeks, when we start feeling that uh, short temper, you know, mouthy attitude coming through. What I love about having these conversations and what I love about astrology in general is that it allows me to mentally prepare for the worst. It allows me to mentally prepare for that shoe to drop. And my understanding that Mercury in retrograde means that disagreements may happen or that people may have short tempers out of nowhere, so on and so forth, then I am appreciative of the fact that I can call the energy in as I see it, and then I know, and then I can act accordingly. Does that make sense? So this is actually part of why I created all of this content and why I bring this conversation to be is because don't we all love to be prepared? And it's been really interesting the conversations that some of you and I have been having on the back end about this Venus retrograde and all of the things that we kind of mentioned and all of the things that we have been expecting and all of the things that we kind of might have kind of seen that could happen because Venus is retrograde, and lo and behold, you all keep texting me about this happening and this other thing happening. And I'm not going to bring it up because I like confidentiality, as I appreciate when you keep confidentiality about the things that I text you about, right? And so Mercury retrograde also governs gossip. So we need to be mindful of all of the things that we say starting this Wednesday. I mean, really always, right? Be impeccable with your word. But Mercury retrograde, it's that, watch what you say. You are on air. Are you aware of the words coming out of your mouth? Those are the things that I like to be mindful of when Mercury is retrograde. So that's going to be this Wednesday as we start Virgo season. And now let's talk about Virgo because we're about to go into it. And Virgo loves to make a plan. Virgo loves to be very orderly. Virgo likes to make sense of things. And so I'm grateful that this Mercury retrograde is happening on Virgo season because that gives us an opportunity to make sense of all the nonsense that we will be experiencing in our head. And the thing is that I mentioned Neptune is joining the conversation this week. What I mean by that is that Neptune hasn't really been in the astrological conversation the past few weeks, but now this week it's happening, right? And Neptune governs embodying. So Jessica Lanyadoo mentioned this in her podcast, Ghost of a Podcast. Go listen to it. How the whole point of what we struggle about or what we struggle with about embodying is how uncomfortable it feels to embody a feeling or to sit with an emotion and ponder where do I feel it in my body and really just be with whatever discomfort comes up. And those are some of the things that we might experience this week. And then after the moon is in Scorpio, it goes into Sagittarius by this Thursday. It'll be the first quarter. And Sagittarius is also very goal oriented. So going from the moon in Scorpio tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, which I mentioned earlier, the moon in Scorpio can be very secrecy. Here's the thing when it comes to all of this ideation that we're already experiencing because of the Mercury retrograde, it's Monday right before it. So we're already in that wave. Jamie just proved it in a message that she mentioned earlier. So the moon in Scorpio can activate some of that inner shadow, some of that inner trauma. The moon in Scorpio might trigger or bring to the surface something very deep and uncomfortable. And I say those things as a warning and just as a precautionary notice, right? Because I want all of us to be okay and to just be safe, right? And so going from the moon in Scorpio into the moon in Sagittarius, I feel like Sagittarius usually picks up whatever Scorpio rubbled up. Sagittarius is very goal oriented, right? Think of the arrow, which is the symbol, right, for the zodiac sign, and that um, goal orientation is what brings that element of hope to whatever it is that transpires before it, right? Um, because hope is also goal oriented. Hope is also future visioning and just focusing on what the ultimate goal is. Is it to be happy? Is it to be rich? Is it to be influential? Is it to be safe? Is it to be healthy, right? So Moon in Sagittarius says, I know I'm feeling like crap, and I know that I'm deeply troubled, maybe. Those are some of the things that may come up with Mercury retrograde, especially. But the moon in Sagittarius may say, but it's okay, let's just keep going. Yay! So that's what I love about focusing every day on where the moon is and what that could mean. And of course, at the end of the day, if you think about it, all of this is talk of intuition. All of this is talk of how do I, Graciela Moore, makes sense of all of this that I'm talking about, right? And all of that is Mercury. And all of that is Virgo, making sense of things and organizing things and, lists. And so, what better opportunity to really say, well, Mercury is retrograde, and during Mercury retrograde, I thought about this trauma, number one on the list. And then 2 nights later, I had a dream and stirred up this other trauma. Okay, great. And then number three, uh, then I had a conversation with my boss and it stirred up this other trauma. That little bit that I just made, that's very Mercury retrograde in Virgo, or even the moon in Virgo as well, making sense of how you feel, right? Having that conversation of, hey, I do like this person, but every time we hang out, I feel this way and I get a sense of this, and somehow I feel this way. Very Virgo, right? Wanting to just make a list to make sense of, to organize things, and to just continue. Very productive oriented, absolutely. And also the perfect time for me to continue working on next year's book. Yay! So, we are going to end the weekend with the moon entering Capricorn on Sunday. So, we will discuss all of that next moon day with the big blue moon episode, because next week we have that super full moon that is a blue moon. If you don't know, blue moon means nothing astrologically speaking. It is not a special moon, it is simply the name that was given to the second full moon of a single month in the calendar year. That's it. But it is a supermoon, which means it's closer to the Earth, depending, on the time of year. And when it's closer to the Earth, we get more light. We get more of that lunatic energy. Lunatic, is it? Lunatic? Oh my gosh, please excuse me. Lunatic energy, right? And if you ever wonder the validity of me bringing up the fact that there's drama in the full moon, during a full moon, just do a quick Google search about hospital ER statistics or even police activity statistics during the full moon. So, I also wanted to mention what these retrogrades are all about and why there seems to be a lot of stress on just the community, the content creation community, so like TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, what I observed from other astrologers and whatnot. And it's the understanding that the planets that are closer to the sun, so Mercury, Venus, Earth, whatever, pretty much up until Jupiter, which is right number six, I think, because they're closer to the sun and closer to the earth, when they go retrograde, it just affects us. Um, they all affect us, but they also go into retrograde more often because the closer they are to the sun, the shorter their little trip around the sun is. So a Pluto retrograde happens every 30 years and it's a generational thing. So, see, I hope that makes sense. And I don't know why that wanted to come out right now, but still, it's going to be a dramatic end to the month of August. Throughout the whole month, we are going to end up having 7 planets retrograding, and it's been quite interesting. Venus retrograde, what has happened for you? What realizations have come up? What has invited you to express yourself, and what got in the way of that? Or did you manage to express yourself? Those are some of the questions that have transpired for me. And with Mercury going retrograde is a perfect opportunity for you to really hang on to words of affirmations, because your brain is going to be telling you the opposite. The inner communication, the inner dialogue that we might be having with ourselves during Mercury retrograde might be that negative self talk that we've all been working to correct. It might be that just like endless negativity, negative Nelly, right? I feel like that's a good way to describe Mercury retrograde. You go from being yourself to just being a negative Nelly. So don't be a negative Nelly, right? Um, and so I figured we could look not just at the words of affirmation for the week, which are in the book, but some of the affirmations that we have enjoyed this past year following the Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 manifestation agenda slash journal. So we're going to take a look at that. And then if you are not driving and if you are not working, if you're just at home, you can get comfortable because we're going to do a little meditation in a few minutes. So the affirmations for the week are: I am aligned with my goals in a way that flows. I take my journey one step at a time and marvel at each miracle. The moon phase is a waxing crescent today, so it'll be crescent until later on. And it's a reminder to seek the balance between work and play. And it's interesting that I had this conversation with one of my closest friends and oldest friends last night. So I will tell you about that. And here it is: seek the balance of work and play. So I reach out to a friend, I check in, and they reach out saying that they're kind of stressed, there's some strikes going on, so on and so forth. And I said, as I feel like, not just my moon in Cancer, but again, that life coach in me and that just friend, I say, what are you doing for fun? What are you doing just to play? And he replied after a few, so he took his time to think about it. He said photography. But considering that I've known this person for literally about 21 years, I said, but photography for you is a job. Like, whatever it is you're playing with on your computer is probably for some assignment, something you have to turn in, right? It's a job. He works for a magazine, he's a professor. And so I said, what are you doing to really just not work? Get out of your head and into your hands. And here's the great paradox I told him about: mindfulness, it's mindlessness. It's a very confusing paradox, I feel like, because to really establish a habit and to really foster the feeling of grounding and of being present, you have to be absolutely mindless about everything that's going on in your life. All the drama, all the inner dialogue, all whoever you know that doesn't live in your environment right now, whoever is in your life that is not in the room, you need to be mindless of so that you can be mindful of whatever is in front of you. Isn't that interesting? And so finally they got back, they're doing woodwork and whatever. But that's interesting because work seems like play, right? Do you feel like I get the feeling that doing this podcast and having these conversations is work for me? No, it feels really good. I love doing this. I could talk about this all day, but is it play? No, absolutely not. I'm intellectualizing a lot in this hour, right? I'm all here in that prefrontal cortex and I'm not giving my brain a chance to just be, right? And so realizing and identifying and putting a name to and actually focusing on what we really define as play is going to be huge in the next few weeks because it'll allow us to get out of that negative self talk or of whatever mindset Mercury is going to put us through. in the next few weeks. And I hope that it's all good for everyone involved. But coming out of a Venus retrograde that has not missed any details where it comes to testing relationship with self and relationship with others, as you have seen, and myself, to go into this interaction, this planetary interaction that essentially points us toward our relationship with the self again, and then asks us to really prove that we have learned the lesson that has transpired in the past few weeks with drama. And then how are you going to react? With miscommunication, gossip, and how are you going to react? And are you going to be dramatic? And are you going to catastrophize? And are you going to like flip the table on people? Or are you going to slam the door? Like how are you? And I feel like spiritually speaking, in the end, think about that like high priestess or empress energy, like they're just sitting on their throne, they're chilling. So hopefully, spiritually speaking, whatever transpires, you can just be. Just be at peace, loose, open to receive, comfortable, blessed. Isn't that so beautiful? So that's what I hope. That's my hope for all of us for the next few weeks, that Mercury will be retrograde. And that is the week for you. So if you are ready, we're going to take a look at some other affirmations. Let's see. The new moon happened last week, and affirmations for that were: I am proud of my journey and the lessons learned. I am confident in the hope I hold, and my life unfolds with ease, calm, and with blessings galore. I am going to be eating all of that up when Mercury goes retrograde this week. Last week, last moon day, I honor my authenticity and make room for others to be authentic around me. I am moving towards my best life with passion. Yes, yes, that's very Venus talking, right? And let's see, we'll go 1 week. August 7th. I take pride in the fact that my values are present in my work. Some of the things that Venus has been stirring up during this retrograde and always is our values and how our values are present in our work. I'm not talking about I value my time with friends, or I value our Saturday brunches, or I value our movie nights. No, Venus values has to do with: do I value optimism, and am I hanging out with people who are all negative Nellies? Do I value hope, and I'm actually being hopeless right now? Do I value spirituality, and no one in my life couldn't care less about spirit? Like those are the things that Venus stirs up every time, especially when it's retrograde. And so I take pride in the fact that my values are present in my work. And the beautiful thing about these affirmations is that if you can't really say it because it's not true in your life, then now you can discern whether you want that to be true. And then you have to look for the work that aligns with your value. And we keep growing and shifting. I mean, I feel like most of us come from a generation of parents that spent an entire lifetime in a single career or in a single office doing the same job until they retired. But I feel like this generation is very much aware that I can do whatever and keep evolving and keep changing. Changing your mind is allowed, right? And then peace, kindness, and love propel me forward. What propels you forward? What is the thing that makes you want to get up in the morning? For some of us, we have no choice, right? We have children, we have a job that we want to keep, we have these obligations. But what is the feeling that makes you want to get up in the morning? For me, it's gratitude. It's like the literally the first thought that comes in my head. I don't know if it's because I go to bed afraid. I've never pondered that before, but when I open my eyes and I just see where I am and realize that it's another day is the first thing that always comes to my mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And more than likely, I'm going to doze off and be awake again in 10 minutes. But peace, kindness, and love propel me forward. If you cannot say the same thing, then how can you make it true if that's what you want? And then the full moon on August 1st. Because August started with a bang and it's going to end with a bang with that blue moon on the 30th. The full moon affirmations were I let go of past mistakes without judgment and make room for positive growth and hopeful effort. Should I repeat that? I'm gonna repeat that. I let go of past mistakes without judgment and make room for positive growth and hopeful efforts. And then my life is directed towards the magnification of my gifts and the manifestation of all of my dreams. Yes, girl. Yes. So that is it, y'all. That is the week for you. Next week we have a waxing gibbous on Monday, and by Wednesday we're gonna have that amazing blue moon. So we will be discussing all of that next week. If you are wondering, Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2024 Manifestation Agenda / Journal will be available on Black Friday, Cyber Monday at the latest. Wink, wink. But I'm going to reveal the cover this week, and I'm so excited. And we're going to continue this amazing journey of mindfulness and emotional mastery and journaling and manifesting blessings. Keep messaging me with all the things that you're working from this book because it gives me life. I swear. Rowena is super excited. My friend Wynn is doing amazing. My friend V is also making sense of so many amazing things and taking epic moves. Taryn is doing amazing as well. And I'm just so grateful for all of you who joined me in this journey and who have kept up with it and then seeing what happens when you bring whatever is here into the forefront to make sense of, which is what this book allows you and kind of coaches you to do. And then what happens in your life when you make sense of it. I hope that makes sense. So, with that, I will finish this conversation. If you are listening and you would like to come up, you can request to speak. I'm not sure if any of you are in a position to be available to speak. If you're listening on Spotify, this podcast is live with an audience in the room. And so that's what I mean about coming up to speak. And this is why I told you that if you would like to join the conversation, you really should download the Fireside Chat app and join us. So, both feet on the ground if you're sitting at your desk or somewhere where you're sitting. If you are driving, do not close your eyes. But if you are able, please close your eyes and get comfortable. We're going to go ahead and get ready with some Brain FM unguided meditation. And if you would like to try Brain FM, there is a link in my bio. Book a call on my bio, get the merch, be a subscriber. Everything to connect with me is on the link in my bio. So both feet on the ground, I'm going to guide you through a short visualization and some breath work to get us ready for the week. This type of meditation you can repeat at any time. They're nice and short. And if you would like to receive an audio meditation that is exclusive, then go to the link in the bio and become a subscriber. I send those every month. So take a look around and stretch and settle into your spot. Focus on your normal, slow breath. Close your eyes. And with me, take a deep breath with your nose. Nice and slow, deep breath in all the way to the top. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out nice and slow. We're not in a hurry. Let it out through your mouth. Long, extended exhale. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Through your nose. Deep breath in all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out through your mouth. Long, extended breath. And as you settle into this breath, I want you to follow my lead and relax your forehead. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your eyes. Relax your cheeks. Unclench your jaw. Lower your tongue. Breathe nice and slow. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. Relax your abdomen. Relax your hips. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your legs. Relax your ankles. Relax your toes. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep breath in through your nose. Nice and slow. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out through your mouth. Long, extended, slow breath all the way. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again through your nose. Nice and slow breath. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out again through your mouth. Nice long breath out. And relax into your exhale. And just breathe. And as you breathe, take in this moment. And you may repeat or just ponder these affirmations. I am aligned with my goals in a way that flows. I take my journey one step at a time and marvel at each miracle. Slowly, let's do one last breath in, last breath. Breathe in through your nose. All the way, all the way, all the way till you have no more room. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale nice and slow. Through your mouth. Long, extended breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again through your nose. Deep breath in, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out one last time through your mouth. Long extended breaths. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. And as you relax and settle into that exhale, bring your attention to your body. Bring your attention to your toes and wiggle them. Slowly move and open your eyes and come back to me. And Thank you so much for joining me on this conversation. Thank you for listening and tuning in and for your support. I just love you all so much. Last week, we celebrated our 1 year anniversary here on the Fireside Chat app, Spotify, and YouTube. Grateful. This is so much fun. Thank you so much. And we will see you again. We mean me and the moon next Monday at the same time. I think we're still changing the time over here, but I think 3:33 works just fine. And that was all Spirit's idea. I had nothing to do with that. I don't really do angel numbers like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this at that time. But Spirit proved me wrong because last week it was like, oh yeah, 3:33. That's the time. So I guess that's it. But either way, thank you again, and I will see you again next week. Follow me on Instagram at songofmyself.ig or Twitter, some coaching, or TikTok, somecoaching.tt for TikTok. And if you want to know about me, who I am, and what I do, you can always Google me or go to my website at somecoaching.com and find out about everything I do. So, yay, thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.